An intervention is a combination of program or strategies designed to produce behavior changes or improve health status among individuals or an entire population. Interventions may include educational programs, training, new or stronger policies, improvements in the environment, or a health promotion campaign. Interventions that include multiple strategies are typically the most effective in producing desired and lasting change. Interventions may be implemented in different settings, including therapy centers, schools, workplaces, communities, organizations, or in the home. Interventions implemented in multiple settings and using multiple strategies may be the most effective because of the potential to reach a larger number of people in a variety of ways. The definition of intervention is something that comes between two things or something that changes the course of something. In other words, it is the action or process of intervening. Intervention comes from the Latin intervenire, meaning to come between, interrupt. Often, an intervention is intended to make things better. There are many possible malformations, defects, diseases, infections, and disorders that can affect the developmental aspects in infants and toddlers. As it is presumed that medical follow-up to screening will identify the prescribed treatment, the medical professionals will take care of the treatment aspects for the diseases and defects of the sensory organs. After the medical treatment, further intervention programs should be planned for the restoration of functioning of sense organs. Educational intervention includes the preschool training such as development of daily living skills, mobility skills, visual, auditory, motor, communication skills, and placement of the child into the formal school system. The trained teachers or qualified rehabilitation workers provide training on various skills required by the child. They also provide the counseling for the parents, family members, relatives, and neighbors about the development of the child with developmental delays or disabilities and their role on caring the child. They develop the pre-educational skills such as eye-hand coordination, figure-ground discrimination, tactile discrimination, sensory development, communication, mobility, and social interaction. All this training will be helpful for making appropriate placement of the child in the educational program. Most often, such children with developmental delays or disabilities exhibit behavioral or emotional problems which affects their psychosocial development. Psychosocial intervention is rendered by the school counselors, trained special educators to the needy children. Vocational training is an important component of the vocational intervention. There are some disabled individuals who, after they are provided with physical restoration services, are capable of going back to their old jobs. But there are unfortunately many who are unable to do so and therefore require training in new skills. Vocational training may not be so essential to an able-bodied person who can benefit by general education. Vocational training assists persons with disabilities in preparing for, obtaining and retaining employment. The vocational training counselor and the individual work in partnership to jointly identify a realistic employment objective consistent with the individual's skills, abilities, capabilities, aptitude, particular interests, concerns and resources through informed choice as well as the services needed to achieve that objective. It is a system of services that helps babies and toddlers with developmental delays or disabilities. Early intervention focuses on helping infants and toddlers learn the basic and functional skills that typically develop during the first 3 years of life, such as physical, which includes reaching, rolling, crawling and walking, cognitive, thinking, learning as well as solving problems, communication aspects which includes talking, listening and understanding, social and emotional, playing, feeling secure and happy, and self-help which includes eating, dressing, etc. The early intervention services will be tailored to meet the child's individual needs and it may include assistive technological devices, audiology or hearing services, speech and language services, counseling and training to the family, medical services, nursing services, nutrition services, occupational therapy, physical therapy as well as psychological services. The ultimate objective of all these services is to address the needs and priorities of the children with disabilities and their families. Family directed services are meant to help family members understand the special needs of their child and how to enhance his or her development. Intervention is a systematic process which assists persons with physical, mental, developmental, cognitive and emotional disabilities to attain their personal, career and independent living goals in the most integrated setting and least restrictive environment possible through the application of the various therapies, teaching strategies, technologies or any other innovative mechanisms. Functional skills such as self-help, communication, cognitive, social skills and behavioral aspects could be improved through interventions. Assessment for current functioning levels, educational assessment, skill assessment, psychosocial assessment and vocational assessment. Working within mainstream services to increase awareness, understanding and knowledge of the issues for people with disabilities and their families so that appropriate and effective services and support are delivered. Building capacity of individuals or families to navigate health and welfare systems to access information. Providing physiotherapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, auditory therapy and vision therapy. Rendering allied therapies such as nutritional therapy, art and music therapy as well as movement therapy. Coordinating the support services, collaborating with multidisciplinary teams, referral to other services. Supporting individuals to be self-advocates or advocating on their behalf, advocating for change on an organizational and systemic level. Personal level counseling, family or group counseling, supporting people with disability and their families resolve conflicts that arise between themselves or with others. Intervention services provide families with the information and support they need to maximize the overall development of their disabled child. As the intervention services are from qualified, experienced professionals, it helps the parents to understand about their child's current condition. It enables them to learn about their child's strengths and needs and ways to help them develop. It assists family members in carrying out appropriate therapeutic practices in the home. Since intervention services are delivered in a family-centered way, it improves family quality of life. Through the intervention services, opportunities are maximized for children to experience family, school, and community participation. Intervention is likely to be more effective and less costly when it is provided earlier in life rather than later. Next, we shall see the intervention for adventitiously blind students, that is, students who have acquired blindness later in their life, as well as the role of special educators in the intervention of such students. For this, first we should understand the various educational needs of such children. The special educator should conduct assessments for determining the need for Braille. In addition, extra care must be taken before teaching Braille. If the loss of vision has happened recently and unexpected, the child may not have fully accepted this loss of vision and need for Braille. Forcing the child to learn Braille is not suggestible before he or she is ready. Otherwise, it may result in an adverse reaction to Braille and the child may refuse to learn it. The special educator can provide counseling which helps the child to accept Braille. In general, youth at the senior high school level are not receptive to Braille instruction before their graduation. Training in prerequisite skills such as developing finger dexterity, Braille letter recognition and tactile discrimination should be given to make the child ready to learn Braille. To help the youth with adventitious blindness who want to learn Braille in a short time, modern methods could be employed. Nemeth code, the Braille form of mathematics, should be taught concurrently with literary Braille used after reading. It is much difficult for the adventitiously blind people to move around after the sudden loss of vision. However, they may be able to move around in the familiar environment such as home, school, etc. Still, they require structured training to understand the landmarks and clues through the remaining senses, which would help them to have a safe and independent travel. The visually impaired children can access information using a range of different mediums and tools. This may depend upon certain aspects such as the extent to which they can utilize their remaining vision, the onset of visual impairment and the additional impairments if they have any. Some students with acquired blindness may be able to access enlarged print if they have residual vision, while some other may prefer to receive audio material or in electronic format. Some Braille readers like to access Braille with no contractions, while others may choose to read contracted Braille, which may help them to speed up while reading. Assistive technology is of great help to individuals, especially who have acquired blindness. The selection of technological devices is influenced by various factors such as the unique needs of the individuals, preferences to use the equipments, availability, affordability, etc. Some students with visual impairment prefer using magnification, some like screen readers, while others are satisfied by making changes to computer settings to magnify the display screen. Few individuals may operate computers with speech or magnification softwares, touch screens with voiceover, and may also use low vision or braille devices. Appropriate training in the use of assistive devices helps them to utilize the devices to the maximum extent. The special educators are responsible for the educational assessment and evaluation of all students with visual impairment under their care, based on medical, low vision as well as functional vision assessment reports. The special educators have to plan and evaluate an individual education program, that is IEP, incorporating the components of expanded core curriculum, that is ECC. The special educators are also involved in the direct instruction of the expanded core curriculum. The supporting roles of the special educators include providing diagnostic assessment to determine the visually impaired students' strengths and areas of needs and challenges, carries out a comprehensive assessment of the students' functional vision, visual efficiency, suitable reading and writing media, proper assistive technological devices, need for optical and non-optical devices, and the evaluation of reading skills. Consults with general educators regarding braille handouts, adapted materials, strategies for curriculum transaction, orientation and mobility, modification and adaptation of the classroom environment, and approaches for inclusion. Generates creative ideas and suggestions for program modification as well as adaptations. Provides advice about materials and resources to the general teachers as well as to parents. Acts as a liaison between the school and the resource room. Plans and carries out instructional programs. Develops strategies for assessing and communicating student progress time to time. Maintains ongoing communication with parents and other general teachers and initiates and organizes support team meetings. Supports transitions at various stages, which includes early childhood programs to primary level, primary to secondary, secondary to post-secondary or higher educational or vocational. Another important responsibility of the special educator is to support the general teachers, enabling them to provide an educational program that meets the needs of all students in the class, including students with visual impairment. Supports families in the early intervention programs and other support services. Works in consultation with the families, general education teachers and other professionals on the instruction in expanded core curriculum. The other task of special educators include preparing the content in braille, large print, audio or in tactile forms, facilitating the students' use of assistive devices, supporting in the adaptation of the learning environment to meet the students' needs, arranging for scribes, braille transcribers and reader services, helping in concept development, organizational and social skills, and reinforcing the specialized skills such as pro-social behaviors, orientation and mobility and life skills. The collaboration between the special educators and general educators is considered as vital while teaching science or mathematics to the children with visual impairment. Now we shall see the sequence of events that are to be followed in the integrated educational settings. The general educator should inform the special educator well in advance about the lesson he or she will be teaching in the following week, so that the special educator can be prepared with the required materials for the students with visual impairment. Based on the suggestions and technical expertise provided by the general educator, the special educator can prepare appropriate teaching materials or modify the existing ones to strengthen the learning experiences of the students with visual impairment. Perceiving of science or mathematics concepts wholly helps a lot to study the details in a precise manner. For making this possible, the special educator can orient the child to the lesson before he goes to the class. He can provide the braille material and aids prepared for him and create an awareness of what he is going to study in the regular class and also explain the key concepts of the lesson. For doing this, the special educator should have some background knowledge in science or mathematics, preferably possessing a graduation in the respective discipline. In the integrated setting, the guidance and assistance for the subject specialist is always important. The orientation given by the special educator will enable the student with visual impairment to have a clear line of thinking and generate action from the teaching of the regular teacher in the regular class. The regular teacher should see that the student with visual impairment has the relevant text material and mathematical devices for calculations. Peer tutoring, that is associating the student with visual impairment with one or two sighted children, assists him in effective learning of science as well as mathematics. It is suggestible that the special educator ensures with the student with visual impairment and the general educator regarding the understanding of the students in the respective subject. Continuous drills and motivation should be given by the teachers to help the students to sustain their interest and confidence. Today, we have seen in this unit about the definition, meaning, importance of intervention as well as various intervention strategies meant for advantageously blind students. Thank you.